pulled into the garage and into the house. Yes, I met a night.
Hello again, everyone. Hope you are well on this Saturday morning, out running an errand or two. And I wanted to take a few minutes and address a comment that was made in yesterday's video. It was either yesterday or the day before. Can't remember. But I get this comment from time to time, and I just want to address it again. It's been a while since I've talked about it. Well, addressed it in this way at least. Okay. I do have a passage I'm going to share with you, a Bible passage to share with you towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But the comment goes like this. I live in, this particular comment at least, was I live in a very red area and the economy is booming here, dog. The stores are packed, the restaurants are packed, gasoline is down below $2 a gallon. Food prices are down, and they cited a few specific type of groceries. I can't even remember which one. Hiring signs are in every window, or many windows. Okay. I have all the work that I can do. I'm making more money than I ever have in my life, kind of, to that effect. The stock market is on fire. So what are you talking about, Don? Right? So that's the comment. All right. I'm paraphrasing. But those were the points. Those were the main points made. Well, I will retort. First of all, before I go into it, I would say, I do want to say, and I say this from time to time, is that I truly do want the best for this country and American people. All of the American people. Blue, red, green, yellow, purple. I mean, it's colorless to me. You're American, you're American, okay? Regardless of your political persuasion, what you look like, I want the best for you. I want the best for this country. I want 2026 to turn around and just flip and be awesome. That would be good for me. It'd be good for Miss Dog. It'd be good for the family. It'd be good for you. It'd be good for everybody, right? But this is the reality, right? Now, we also live in an extremely red area, okay? I work in Athens, which is a little blue dot surrounded by a lot of red in this region of Georgia, right? And that's not uncommon in a lot of places in this country. But I live in a very red area, and this is what my take is. And I'll address some of these things. First of all, if you take away the credit cards, credit in general, most credit, if you take away the buy now, pay later schemes, if you take away the ability to be able to take out an automobile loan, even if you had bad credit, if you took that away, what would it look like? What would it look like, y'all? Would the stores be packed then? Would we have had a record Black Friday sale? You tell me. Would the stadiums be packed with people at ball games? Would you still see a lot of brand new automobiles running around out here? Would people still be trying to keep up with the Joneses, although the Joneses are broke in most cases? Would the restaurants be packed? Maybe some restaurants. Maybe not as much. Would there be hiring signs in most windows? And I'll address that one too separately. But you tell me. That's first. Even in the Great Depression, you will have that 5 to 10% of the public who can afford to go out to eat wherever they want to go, anytime they want to go, They can buy anything. They can fly anywhere they want to go. They can still hire people if they want. They're not hurting. They can buy a new vehicle. They can go on vacation. They can buy all they want. They can buy many things on Black Friday if they want to. And they'll be just fine. The reality is, food is not down. At least not in my red area. It's only going up. All of it. All of it in the grocery store. Unless it's like a BOGO, buy one, get one free. So food is not coming down in price, at least in my area. I can only speak for pretty much this area. And it's extremely red, all right? Gasoline, come down a little bit. It's negligible, to tell you the truth. It's still right up there at $3 a gallon right now. The stock market is fake to me. It's fake. What is it running on? Nothing. It's being manipulated. Most folks, it has little impact on most folks day to day. Unless you're an elite, unless you're some kind of hedge fund manager, I guess, you're doing fine. The hiring signs in every or most windows, I do see some now hiring or hiring now signs. Now, where I do see them is the key. I do see them in food service places, mostly. Some retail, not much. What I'm hearing from a lot of folks is when they go actually try to apply, they either can apply and never get a call, or they're actually told we're okay right now. We're full at the moment. That could change. That kind of stuff. But where the people are hiring, the places that are hiring, or, your food service, your restaurants, your gig stuff, your delivery, those kind of things, what I'm noticing, the exception to that would be certain industries. Now, if you have a specific trade that you are good at, your construction, HVAC, plumbers, electricians, pipe fitters, healthcare, most things in healthcare. You can get a job if you just put a little effort. That's still possible. That's still possible no matter what's going on. That's still possible probably in a Great Depression and most depressions. Building, maybe not with the construction as much, but you still need healthcare. I mean, it would have to get really, really bad. It'd have to be a total collapse. Not, a lot of people would do what they have to get their HVAC fixed in most cases. And businesses. So, if you hustle, you can find something. The thing is, with the gigs and the delivery and the gig thing, you have to do 5 of them and run yourself silly and stressed out to death to try to make an end meet. Okay, that's the problem. But as far as prices, no, they're not down. They only go in one direction, and that's up. So, that's the reality. That's what I'm seeing. That's what people around me are seeing. So, I don't know where this person lives, but if that's truly the case, they don't need to ever move. My guess is that person is, as far as what they laid out there, is probably partially true, maybe. But I don't know. You tell me. But you don't have to go far to find a lot of people talking about how they are really, really struggling. It don't matter what area either. I believe a red area, a blue area, a purple area. I mean, I work in a very blue area. And the prices aren't no different there than here. The conditions are about the same. You know, you see more homeless because there's public transportation and other issues. You know, you got more services and stuff there. You're going to see more homeless and stuff and things like that. Here, not as much. I still see them here. You know, meth land is the same whether it's red or blue here in Georgia. The only difference is in the blue areas you got more than just meth. It's varied. There's a lot of stuff. Good. A lot of different things. So I just wanted to address that. You know, the bottom line is, if you took away all the credit and the ability to buy something with money you don't have, if you just stripped that away, I believe things would look even more different than they already are. I believe you would have yourself a depression that would make the Great Depression of the 30s look like, would make it blush. That's my personal belief. And I believe we could see that in the next year, actually. I'm going to try to do another video later today where I go into a little more detail. I want some things I believe that are responsible and not very responsible, but I want Miss Dog in here on that. I want her to chime in. That could be her thing. Right? But as far as booming, it's booming, but not in the good way. And it depends on your situation. I mean, if you're a hedge fund, you might be doing fine. Soul on ice, death threats given by clowns. I mean, even if you are in HVAC, got all the work you can get, you're still paying more for the groceries now than you ever had. So it's still everything. It's probably not putting you in a situation where you can't say this. But it's taking more of your money to do it. Probably hampering you in some way. There's a few left as music's expressions of life. Damn, I wish I took more time to write in my book of rhymes. When is this going to stabilize? Right? Been looking for this. I mean, Miss Dog and I are able to pay the bills. We can make the income. But this is not sustainable at all. My book of rhymes. It's not sustainable. If it doesn't stabilize, it continues going up, and your dollar continues to devalue, fight to the death. The U.S. Army is a school that by less and less. At the same time, the layoffs continue. One of us gets knocked out of the force. Then we have a different situation, and that's what we're working hard to prepare for. Is that one of those things is going that could very likely card shots, thieves, addicts and fiends, prostitutes, passive goes into hyper. Cops that use blacks as routine for notoriety. Grow up watching well-dressed and in the charms. Beautiful ladies on their arms. Dangerous new cars. Hopefully it doesn't happen and we don't have to. Rubbing my lips with camphor for neat. Still behind the ears wet. Turned out to be pioneers, vets amongst hustlers, ever-sellers, and liars and sweats. Nah, my people be projects in jail, never Harvard and Yale. Pardon me, typing my tool while I'm charging myself. It's hard to be iced up with Gucci God, poverty's real. I can't fight you cause you assume to get me bruised. I see imitators trying to make albums spitting my style, and they don't even realize it or notice they still a nine. I pump some Rick James with that Tina Marie. My nigga leaned on me like screech scrap. This can't be my book of rhymes. This can't be my book of rhymes. Right, that's bull. As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring why you laughing at this? We rely on those to bring it to us, right? That's my book of rhymes. I'm telling you, I'm gonna come up with some new now. I'm gonna write again now. What good news can you bring to somebody? It doesn't mean you have to go into a 15, 20-minute sermon or nothing like that. It can be very can still be super. Look how we treat pregnancy, women in the hood. Our values so low, our values are no good. Things our mothers told us we should have heeded, cause now we need it. We old, almost able to and giving us some
I'm jealous of you. How come you so
encouragement,
beautiful, smelling
positive
fresh, youthful,
reinforcement.
intelligent while I'm
That may
stressing
be all it takes.
Hey yo, I envy you, cause all you do is smile and things come your way.
Let's see what we
Such
can
an
do with
innocent child is what some say.
Hope you have a
I
good
get
weekend
upset
so
'cause
far.
I just wanna be treated the way you are, like
safe
a star.
out there.
Not
God
a
bless you.
worry in
I'll
this
see you
world
soon.
thus far. But wait a minute, we both need your mother's attention. I must be crazy, jealous of my own baby infant. Kinda crazy. My book of rhymes. My book of rhymes.
Good afternoon, people. Happy Saturday. Let me give you a verse of scripture out of Psalm 34:19, and it says, "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth them out of them all." That is so true. Let me give you the gospel. It's in 1 Corinthians 15:1-4. Christ shed his blood for all of us, and past, present, and future, was buried. He rose again on the third day. That's how we're saved, why we're saved, how we're kept saved. His blood, his death, burial, and resurrection. It is grace through faith in Christ alone, period. Not of ourselves, not of works, it's any nature. It is grace, something we didn't earn, something we don't deserve, that God gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish but have life. How do you come to that? You admit you're a sinner in need of Christ. The moment you put your faith and trust in Christ, the moment you accept Christ as Savior, not only are you saved, you are justified by the blood of Jesus, you are protected by the blood of Jesus, you are rapture ready, which is going to happen at any time, and you're sealed until the day of redemption. You cannot enter without this house. The Holy Spirit will indwell in you, lead you, guide you, minister you, encourage you, teach you, and change you if you will. So I'm watching the Charlie Kirk Fest in Arizona, and the people are on fire. I see that. It's a good program. It's on Fox Nation, and Kaylee McEnany was doing some of them on there. So I want to give you this article that came out today. It says, are you paying attention? 6 nations join the Board of Peace. More to follow. So something unusual is forming in the Middle East, quietly, deliberately, and with unmistakable international weight. It says a coalition of nations has agreed, at least in principle, to sit on what is being called a board of peace. So, now, and like I said, all this is being set up for future time with tribulation, so we know that. Its stated purpose is straightforward: to oversee the post-war management of Gaza and guide the region's gradual ceasefire towards something resembling stability. But history tells us that when global powers assemble around Jerusalem and its surrounding territories, the story is never merely administrative. So, in a televised address to the nation this week, Trump boldly declared that we now have peace in the Middle East. He did say that, I heard that. Framing the recent ceasefire and diplomatic progress as a historic moment of reconciliation. So whether one views this as political optimism or a milestone in real terms, I go with the latter. The statement underscores the administration's confidence in this coalition and highlights the symbolic weight of the Board of Peace, even as the practical challenges on the ground remain formidable. At present, several key nations are understood to have committed to this board, including Egypt, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, Italy, and Germany. Together they represent a regional leverage, European legitimacy, and diplomatic continuity. Their participation does not yet guarantee funding, troops, or long-term enforcement, but it does signal international buy-in. Symbolism matters in diplomacy, so does precedent. So the goal now is expansion. Additional seats are being quietly pursued, with Saudi Arabia at the top of the list, Riyadh's inclusion would dramatically reshape the war's influence, signaling Arab world alignment behind U.S.-led peace framework. Yet Saudi's hesitations tell Gaza remains volatile. Hamas has not disarmed. Israeli forces continue to operate with ceasefire violations. The Saudis appear unwilling to lend their authority until the end game is clear, and until the cost of participation is better defined. Bringing Ankara, bringing Ankara into any peace structure presents an entirely different challenge. Turkey's president has repeatedly issued inflammatory rhetoric towards Israel, language that goes far beyond diplomatic protest. And at various points, he has spoken of marching on Gaza, mobilizing what was called an army of Israel, and framing the conflict in explicitly religious and civilizational terms. Such statements are not easily brushed aside as domestic prosperity. For Israel, Turkey's involvement in post-war Gaza, especially in any security stabilization role, is viewed as deeply destabilizing. Yet they don't want that. Yet pressure is mounting to find a workaround. One proposal being floated is symbolic inclusion. Turkey seated on the board of peace, but kept out of boots on the ground command structures. That's not going to work. Even this compromise is controversial because it's not going to work. Peace is difficult enough without importing leaders whose rhetoric fuels the very fires diplomacy claims to extinguish. Turkey wants war. Erdogan hates Israel and ain't too fond of the U.S. And here's where the conversation becomes far more serious and far more revealing. When public attention remains fixed on high-profile border peace, real authority is quietly shifting elsewhere. A mid-level executive body is being assembled to manage the day-to-day realities of governance, security coordination, reconstruction, and political transition. This group will not make headlines. It will hold grand summits. It will shape outcomes. And this is precisely why it deserves scrutiny. Who sits on this executive board? Why do they believe, what do they believe about sovereignty, borders, religion, and long-term regional order? What assumptions do they hold about Israel, about Palestine, governance, and about the role of international authority in the Holy Land? History shows that transformative agreements are rarely forged in public ceremonies. They are built in committee rooms, drafted by technocrats, and enforced by unelected administrators. So alongside this executive layer is a proposed technocratic Palestinian governing body tasked with running Gaza's daily affairs. Again, the question is not merely competence, but ideology. Administration without legitimacy collapse. Peace without moral clarity corrodes. That's so true. For those who watch the Middle East through the lens of Scripture, these developments carry unmistakable evidence. Precursor to the Great Tribulation. The Bible speaks not of chaos alone, but of carefully constructed agreements brokered by outside powers, covenants straightened over time, agreements that appear, or arrangements that appear stabilizing before they unravel. So the prophetic language of the covenant being confirmed through this process, not sudden decree. It implies groundwork laid by one generation and ratified by another. In this current framework, that covenant, is this current framework that covenant? No. Too many pieces are still missing. Borders remain undefined. Jerusalem remains unresolved. Nations are not yet aligned. There is no singular enforceable treaty, only mechanisms, boards, committees, and intentions, but processes matter. A peace architecture that normalizes international government oversight of Gaza, a regional coalition accustomed to managing Israel as basic territory, a growing expectation that lasting stability must come from outside intervention. These are not end-time fulfillments, but they're people. We're seeing the flickers of framework. Scripture cautions us not to rush to timeline. Daniel's 70th week does not begin because diplomats gather or ceasefires hold. It begins when conditions align with the truth. We're not there yet. Still, the direction is worth watching. But like I said, it's a precursor. Peace in the Middle East has never failed for lack of ambition. It fails when human authority overestimates its ability to reorder what Scripture says will ultimately be resolved only by divine intervention. Until then, the world will keep building boards, drafting plans, and declaring breakthroughs. And believers would do well to watch, not fear, but with discernment. This is so true. This is an excellent article. I'm gonna link it in the description box. So I will be back later. I will try to do an next video later.
This winter is about to take a crazy turn. A major weather pattern shift is underway right now, and it's setting the stage for an intense and widespread heat wave across much of the United States. Over the next 7 days, we could see more than 100 temperature records broken, including the potential for the warmest Christmas ever for 100 million people. But before the heat wave takes over, the storm track is going to come alive, especially in the west. A flattened jet stream will allow for a powerful Pacific system to hit the West Coast around Christmas, increasing the risk for a high-impact holiday storm. Heavy rain, mountain snow, and strong winds are on the table. Once that storm moves through, the story changes for the rest of the country. The same weather pattern fueling the West Coast storm may shut down winter weather across portions of the central and eastern United States. Large areas could go an entire week or longer without snow, and places that already have snow on the ground may lose it before Christmas arrives. So in today's forecast, we are going to break down exactly what you need to know about this record-breaking weather pattern that is developing right now. And let's begin by talking more about the weather pattern that is developing right now across the United States. And to look at that, we are going to look at the jet stream. And right now, it's actually in a very interesting position. Our polar jet stream is lifted very far off to the north in the United States right now, which means that if you're down along the Gulf Coast and the desert Southwest, that is where a lot of warm air is currently building. And it's going to get a lot crazier as we get closer to Christmas, because notice what's going to happen as we go to the early portion of next week. Our jet stream will continue to stay very lifted off to the north, and what this is going to do is build a ton of heat into areas in the central, southern plains, Midwest, and the Ohio Valley, and for over 100 million people, we will have the possibility of having the warmest Christmas on record in the United States. And keep in mind that records date back for most locations before 1900. So this is a pretty historic event that's going to be taking place, and it's all due to the fact that our jet stream is going to be lifted so far off to the north. We have really no big storm systems that are going to be entering the country, and this is what's going to look like by Christmas morning. Our jet stream will be all the way back up into Canada. This is something that we typically see during early November or late October, so this is a very odd weather pattern that is developing for sure. But the other interesting thing about this is that we will have the possibility of seeing some snow, ice, and even rain, mainly in the northern plains back into the northeast. That is a possibility around the Christmas time frame. The other thing is our jet stream will be angled out of the southwest back over on the west coast, and we are expecting at least one, if not two, big storms to impact the west coast as we go into the middle and end of next week, right around Christmas, which means problems are going to be happening over there. And then once those storms make their way into the west coast, they might make their way over the Rockies, and that could cause the potential for some big snow or ice events by the end of the month. So that is something we'll be keeping an eye on. Now, the big story over the next week is that our temperatures are about to skyrocket. We had an extremely cold start to the month of December, and it has just taken a serious turn here over the last few days. So let's talk more about it. This one looks like as we go into Sunday and Monday, our temperatures are going to warm up rapidly across the Great Plains, Rockies, and also back into the Midwest. If you're back over in New England, that's one of the few areas that will actually have below average temperatures leading up to Christmas. Again, this pictured here is late Sunday and Monday. By Tuesday and Wednesday, we are going to see some really extreme heat build across the central and southern plains for this time of the year. What I mean by extreme heat is not 90s and 100s, but for this time of the year, 50s, 60s, and 70s for high temperatures anywhere pretty much in Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri. We could even see some high temperatures reach the 50s back over in Minnesota, which is not very common for this time of the year. This pictured here is Christmas Eve. As we go into Christmas Day, this is where we could have the possibility of temperatures being as high as 40 to 45 degrees above average. This is a complete flip from what we saw earlier this month, where these same exact areas were 45 degrees below average. So we're basically going to see a 100-degree temperature swing in these areas over about a 10-day period, but still pretty crazy stuff here. And then eventually, as we go into Friday and Saturday, we will continue to see above average temperatures basically all across the Great Plains back into the southeast, and we will continue to see this weather pattern likely until the new year, and then from there we may start to see some wintry weather take place again, but it's really uncertain what's going to happen as we go into early January. What I think will happen in the long term is that we will start to see winter storms return. The jet stream will likely dip south again. It's all a matter of time, but for right now we are in an extremely warm weather pattern. Now in just a moment we're going to talk about exactly how warm it is going to get in the United States and what you need to know about snow chances around Christmas. But before we do that, we need to talk about the sponsor of today's video. Winter is the season of holiday lights, snowstorms, and busy travel plans. It's also the time where small little health issues tend to sneak up and get pushed aside. With the hustle of gift shopping, decorating, and preparing for family gatherings, it's all too easy to say, I'll take care of that after the holidays. But staying healthy is one of the best gifts you can give yourself this season, and it shouldn't have to wait until the new year. It's important to do things like going to the gym like I do frequently, but it's more important to keep an eye out on your body and get it checked whenever something feels off. That is exactly where today's sponsor ZocDoc helped. ZocDoc is a free website where you can easily search and compare high-quality in-network doctors so you can find the right one for you. And ZocDoc isn't just for one type of care. They have more than 100,000 providers across nearly every specialty specialty. From primary care to dental health, eye care to urgent care to mental health, and more. It's the one-stop shop for all your healthcare needs. No need to call doctor's offices and wait on hold. ZocDoc lets you do everything online. You can filter by your insurance, compare doctors, and read verified patient reviews so you know exactly who you're booking with. It removes all the guesswork and honestly all the anxiety. Recently, I had a cold that kept coming back, and I plan to take advantage of ZocDoc to fit a visit into my very busy schedule. When you found the doctor you need, you can see their actual openings. Plus, ZocDoc helps you get appointments fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking, and you can even score same-day appointments. Stop waiting and start getting the care you need. Go to ZocDoc.com/maxvelocity to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Now, if you're wondering what the actual temperatures will be, it's, again, really crazy. I've said the word crazy about 6 or 7 different times in this forecast, and there's a reason why. As we go into Monday, we'll have high temperatures from Nebraska back into Texas in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Even back over in Des Moines, high temperature of around 52 degrees. Tuesday will be a little bit warmer. Again, back over in areas like Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, reaching the 50s and 60s for high temperatures. Even over in Cincinnati, 55. Christmas Eve, this is going to be one of the warmest days of the entire week, but Christmas Day is still forecasted to be the warmest. Many areas, even up into Iowa, almost all Missouri, again in the 70s, and also Georgia, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, all in the 70s and 80s. And then eventually by Christmas Day, this is where well over 100 different records could be broken at different weather sites across the central southern plains and back into the Midwest. If you look here, these are some pockets of seeing temperatures around 80 to 85 degrees. We may even see a few locations in north central Texas reach around 90 degrees on Christmas Day, which would absolutely shatter daily records for this area. Look at Chicago, near 50 degrees for high temperature. Central Illinois, 71 degrees. And even back over into far northern South Dakota, we're going to be near 50 degrees. This right here is a cold front that's barely going to make its way into South Dakota during the Christmas Day time frame. And eventually, as we go into the day after Christmas, a cold front will push through into areas like the Midwest, and this is going to drop temperatures quite a bit. And then eventually by around Saturday and Sunday, that cold front is really only going to sweep across the very far northern tier of the country. Might bring a little bit of snowfall to some areas, but not looking overly promising for a white Christmas for many of you. And for the very end of December into the first couple of days of January, the Climate Prediction Center is still forecasting above average temperatures for most of the country. Neutral potential of either below or above average if you're right along the immediate west coast or in the northeast. So generally speaking, it does not look like we have any major winter storms on the horizon for most of the Great Plains, Midwest, and the Ohio Valley. But again, that could change once we get a little bit closer to the new year. Let's go ahead and talk more about that possibility of seeing some snow right around Christmas and even beyond that. We'll begin with our future radar here. This is what it looks like as we go into Sunday morning. We have a little bit of snow passing in far northern New England. Atmospheric river events continue to wreak havoc along the west coast with flooding, rainfall, and heavy snow in the mountainous regions. As we go into Monday and Tuesday, that same weather pattern is going to continue for western Oregon, Washington, and California, and then back over in the Great Lakes in the Ohio Valley. A small little Alberta clipper will bring some light snow and rain. And then by Tuesday, some light snow across the northeast. Again, not expecting much in the way of accumulation, but you may see an inch or two, which could help your chances of seeing a white Christmas this year. And then on Christmas Eve, the west coast is going to be dealing with the worst of the weather, where heavy rain and snow is going to be ongoing near San Francisco, Los Angeles, and across the Sierra Nevada, and that's going to continue, unfortunately, into Christmas Day. So this is what it looks like while Santa is going to be flying his reindeer right over the United States. We'll have some showers back over in the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes, heavy snow in the Pacific Northwest, and then rain all along the west coast. So that could cause some problems for Santa flying around here going into Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, where you're opening your presents, there will be some snowfall across Montana and also the Rockies, and also back over in the Sierra Nevada. Heavy rain will continue near San Francisco, back through Los Angeles and San Diego. And then late Christmas night, there will be a little bit of snow passing by in northern Minnesota. And then as we go into the day following Christmas, it looks pretty messy right now in the Northeast. We initially thought wintry precipitation might be on the table. It looks like for anybody in the lower elevations, it's going to be a messy rain, which means that any snow that's on the ground is going to be very slushy the day following Christmas. And then eventually, by the very end of the month, the GFS model is showing at least some signs that we may see some sort of winter storm form. But again, this is way too early to be forecasting at this point. It's just a signal that we are starting to see on some of the models. We'll have to wait and see what actually happens, as that is well over now, 8 days from now. But things could change. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe some snow on the way, and maybe a winter storm right before the new year. And if you're hoping for a white Christmas this year, this is the snow depth that is forecasted over the next few days, and unfortunately, it's going to be warming up a lot. And as we wake up on Christmas morning, notice that most of the United States will not be experiencing a white Christmas. We just made a video about this a couple of days ago. Definitely recommend you watch that if you've not already. It talks all about the chances of a white Christmas, but unfortunately, not very high odds unless you're back over here in the far northern plains, upper Midwest, or across the Northeast. Temperatures will be warming very quickly, so almost the entire Ohio Valley and Midwest will have no snow on the ground. And again, keep in mind, a white Christmas is defined by at least 1 inch of snowfall, so that is very few of you across the country. Maybe next year, though, we might have some snow, maybe as far south as Texas. You never know. And as always, thank you all so much for watching today's forecast. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. I want to give a huge shout out to ZocDoc for sponsoring today's forecast. They're going to be working with us here over the next few months. Make sure to check them out. It's the top link in the description below. We would not be able to do what we do on this channel without our amazing sponsors, so make sure to give them some love and support. Also, I am doing personalized videos for the holiday. If you want a last-second Christmas gift for a friend or family member, make sure to check out my Cameo. It's the top link in the description below. These are on sale, 30% off for the next 24 hours, so check it out. We'll see you all in the next video.
They're on top. 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 This year. On. This year. On. This year. On. This year. On. They're on top. 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 They're on top.
Did you see that? We need to smash their heads to kill them. Hey, Hisashi! Hurry, this way! Okay.
Alias, he's offbeat. This year. On. This year. On. This year. On. This year. On. They're on top. 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 This year. On. This year. On. This year. On. This year. On.
something just started to shift. Now let's rewind and bring up Charlie Mack. He's been around since the very beginning of Will Smith's career. Allegedly, he was a bodyguard who turned into something a little bit more closer. Just a rumor that's been going around, and some people say that he just has control over Will. Now, Jaguar Wright claims that Brashear Gray, Will Smith, Jaden, and Justin Bieber were all caught on one tape together. One room, one camera, if you get what I'm trying to say.
He'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists. I really hope none of that baby oil was used on him.
And now Brashear's not acting. He's fully out showing everything on X. And it's all with men, like loud and proud. He's doing it, y'all. And it's really got a lot of people wondering what really happened to him.
Now, y'all might remember, did a video a while back with the guy Bilal, who was like one of Will Smith's close friends with Jada as well, but mostly like he kind of like grew up with Will Smith. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He always goes on Tasha K and gets to talking about a lot of crazy stuff. If y'all remember, he was the one that kind of exposed it, you know, to the public that him and what's his name, Will Smith and Dwayne Martin had a relationship. Remember, he said he walked in on Will Smith. This was a while back. Like, this was one of the first times he went on Tasha K and just kind of blew it up to the public on the internet.
So I'm like, okay, we already know, and if you don't know, Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game. So 3 minutes later, after them telling me, hey, you got eyes on Will, we need him to come watch this. So I'm running all over the studio. He's not in his dressing room. I go to the cafeteria. I'm like, well, but I see his car there. I'm like, where's this guy at? So now I'm holding Dwayne down too, so I have the keys to his dressing room. So I'm like, yo, and they're calling I'm on walkie-talkie and they're calling my cell phone. Yo, we need to get Will here. And I'm like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find this. Like, this is unlike him, right? So I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second. Who was on top?
It wasn't a top. It was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Murder. It was murder in there.
The industry folks knew, but, you know, like, he really put it out there. And he was like, he walked in on Will and Dwayne Martin, and Dwayne Martin was basically blowing his back out. He described it crazy. Like, he said he was just giving it to him. I was like, wow, he painted the picture just ridiculous. But so he's back on Tasha K's podcast, but I think the episode lives on her website. Like, it's too crazy for YouTube, so I think it lives on her website. But for some of the people that watched it, they've been posting clips on TikTok, right? So I pulled 2 of those clips, and I was like, we gotta go ahead and make a quick video about it. I thought it was interesting because, once again, he goes in about how they messed up Brashear Gray, you know, Will Smith, Diddy, you know, people who basically groomed him and assaulted him and gave it to him as well, you know, and basically had him going crazy. Remember, he was getting arrested, going through all kind of stuff. Said he was peeing in the little makeup rooms on set. I mean, all kind of stuff. I'm gonna let y'all hear the clip here in a second. But we do got Brashear Gray with the one-eye symbolism. I find them all. But yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna spend the entire video on this topic because I do got some other stuff I want to show y'all. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and get into this first clip. Check this out.
Say, you know, Will, you know, Diddy made me know what's going on. You know, Charlie made me something. Well, I'm gonna give you a chapter from the book since I owed you something.
Okay.
In the book, in one of the chapters, they talk about mentorship. at this time, of course, you know, I do celebrity product placement. And for the people who don't know, you have to basically have a relationship with hundreds of celebrities in order to make money, because you're taking your product to many celebrities. Allegedly, Charlie Mack and Will called me and said, we're coming to your apartment. I'm like, all right, cool. So, but normally I have to go to Will's house if there's a meeting. So Will comes to my apartment, allegedly. Charlie Mack, the rat, the informant, come to my apartment. So they was like, hey, B, look, man, we got this new guy Will is mentoring. His name is Bashir Gray. Everybody call him Yaz. He's about to get cast on this major show. That was I'm like, okay, what you want? I'm thinking they coming to get product. Bashir was supposed to allegedly star in the reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I said, look, Will, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to go to Chicago and hold this guy down. I remember like it was yesterday, I turned the computer around. I said, Will, that's what's in my bank account right now, right? Will started laughing, right? And said, I'm gonna make sure you get double that over the course of time. That's my guarantee. So I'm like, jeez. I said, okay. So he said, just make sure you hold them down, because he was like, Charlie Mack is not gonna be able to be there, because him and Charlie had something else going on. Our ride in Chicago for Empire is a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy, right? He's out there allegedly with male prostitutes. He's pissing in the trailer. He's acting psychotic, right?
The same thing he's doing now.
Beyond that. But this is why a show is going on. I pulled him to the side. I said, listen, I'm here to help you and so forth and so on. So he was like, all right, I feel that. He said, everybody on the set know you. Everybody seem like they love you. I want to love you because everybody else love you. I said, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But he kept acting up. And then one day, I said, what the F is wrong with you? And he was like, you know. He said, Will raped me. Diddy made me suck his penis. You know what's going on. Charlie made me suck. And I said, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. So he crying, no blood is coming from his nose. Yes, you do. And I'm like, yo, listen. So I grabbed my husband. I said, listen, I don't know. I didn't know what happened. Nothing. I was just asked to come. Is this true? Yeah. No. I'm gonna let you. You about to see if it's true from the paperwork. Oh, we telling something that got paperwork involved. Let me get to the paperwork. I do believe that Will and Jada will be under criminal investigation for sexual crimes, and some of those crimes are with this Church of Scientology allegedly. Remember when we did the first interview and I told you a celebrity was like, you better not say nothing about me and all that other stuff? And I said, Tasha, and you could go back to her and probably put it up. It was Tyrese. Oh, you a tough guy now. Now you a tough guy, right? When all this was going on, because I know. You know how many other people that I know but I'm cool with, they never did nothing to me, so I'm letting them slide. Jamie and all them. You ask me, I never said anything bad about Jamie. I never said nothing about Kevin Hart, but you know what I had on Kevin Hart. You know, period. Tasha know. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, real.
That ain't no allegedly.
That ain't no allegedly. You understand what I'm saying? So you know how much I got on so many other celebrities, and ain't nothing come out. Nothing come out. If jokers want to jump up to Will and Jada defense now, if jokers want to jump up to Tyrese defense, it's coming out. Listen, even if I gotta go to jail, certain things gonna come out. Y'all better leave me alone. Because once you experience that death, you understand what I'm saying? It's over. And you make a man fear another man when you only supposed to fear God. Y'all got me to that point? No, man. Listen, I wish you would. I ain't worried about no damn Tyrese. We going into the psychotics, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's deep. Will and Jada are...
So you're saying the reason Tyrese is so emotional and has a lot of issues with females, it kind of gives me mommy issues, is because he's secretly could be down low?
I don't know. Like I told you, I don't speculate. Everything that I know is in here and in my telephone. And I let you hear and see things. And that's the joint I wish you would. So I know Tyrese is going to watch this. And I know people in Dubai that know him out there. And and what he's been doing out there. You know what I'm saying? Come on, don't play with me. I lived in Kuwait before. Of course, I visited Saudi Arabia. Come on, I'm semi-fluent in Arabic. You know what I mean? So, come on, you want to play with me, and you trying to stomp in the Middle East? Come on, stop playing. And even the same thing with Will. What all these people do, running to Saudi Arabia. Man, don't take that ill behavior over to Saudi Arabia. That's all I'm saying. All these people are trying to get the Saudi money now, right? Everybody over there trying to get the Saudi money, right? But don't take that ill behavior over there. Well, at the end of the day, Tasha, I'm not worrying about nothing. Let them come. Let them say something. I'm spanking them all because I'm only saying stuff about people that I got receipts for.
Those two clips were from an episode she did with Bilal probably about a week ago. So, you know, this stuff with Diddy, Jada Pinkett Smith, Church of Scientology, you know, accusations, stuff with Brashear Gray. Obviously, this stuff is still going on behind the scenes as far as, you know, whatever issue Bilal still carries against Will Smith. I mean, he went out and even said that he think eventually criminal charges will be brought against Will and Jada, allegedly, and, you know, through the Church of Scientology. Now, that part I thought was pretty interesting because I do remember, you know, a while back of a lot of people accusing Jada Pinkett Smith specifically of being a member. Now, she comes out to say that she's not a member of the Church of Scientology, which is mostly based on the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard. And if y'all remember some of the videos we've done way back, you know, we've talked about him multiple times, especially with the whole Jack Parsons thing, Aleister Crowley. We've talked about all these guys through multiple videos, right? Now, I think these rumors go all the way back to 2008 when Will started that elementary. It was some kind of like private elementary that they started back in the Calabasas in California, and this was back in 2008. Now, it was like kind of mid, and I think it was an elementary, if I didn't just say that. But it was based on the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard and the Church of Scientology to homeschool Jaden and Willow. So to basically homeschool their own kids. And I'm pretty sure they had, you know, other celebrity kids or families who had a lot of money and were able to attend that school. I'm not sure, but it sounds like some, you know, stuff from wealthy families and, you know, indoctrinating their children, which is the same thing that Will Smith and Jada are guilty of, you know, indoctrinating Jaden and Willow into the industry. You know, I feel like it basically sold them into the industry just like, you know, any other family would have done in their situation when you raise two kids in Hollywood. And we already know how both of them turned out. We just talked about Jaden recently with the whole creative director with Louboutin and the demonic imagery that they were painting with the all red and stuff. We just talked about that, right? But I thought those two clips were interesting because the conversation never ends, you know, until some of this stuff is like brought to light. Because the whole thing with Brashear Gray, you know, we obviously saw the change, you know, him getting arrested for like, you know, we obviously saw the change in Brashear Gray. He's not that kid that was on Empire, you know, big smile and shit. He's definitely not that kid anymore. But the thing is, clearly, even on Empire, he wasn't that kid that he started out to be either. Because what Bilal was saying was that a lot of this stuff started back then and that he was going crazy on set, you know, but obviously watching the show, you couldn't really tell that. He was just like the troubled son of a rich executive. So you didn't really see it. But a lot of that stuff with him is still yet to be proven. You know, I guess you could call it still speculation and just talk, because none of that stuff is really, you know, proven. But with all the stuff that's came out against Diddy, so on and so on, it is not hard to believe that it happened to him. And I definitely would not put it past Will Smith, you know, once again grooming another child. And who else knows what Will Smith has actually been up to with other people in the industry. So with that being said, y'all, I'll go ahead and end it here. Just wanted to get on here and talk about that real quick. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. I know this one was kind of short, but yeah, man, y'all already know what's going on. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. That being said, it's Black Balloon, and I'm gonna see y'all soon. All right, I'm out.
Ha. Y'all knew I couldn't let this side project finish without doing at least one of these. Disclaimer, some of you will be offended, but it's with the best intention. Be ready. This is the time to keep your eyes open. Stay prayed up. Keep your minds open. You gotta stay balanced, cause the truth walk is slim. Don't rush to condemn, but don't tolerate sin. You see what I'm talking about? Love is the key, but love has to be for the truth and not fantasy. This'll hit people hard like a nuke, but your ascension to godhood is a fluke. You think you're the most high, which is pretty bold, so don't be surprised if he gives you the cold shoulder. Not saying that we won't have power without the most high. Our power gets devoured. Keep your eyes on the skies, the sun and moon. A fake alien invasion's coming soon. And if fake blonde messiah is coming after, then a real messiah is gonna crush him after. Get him, Yahusha.
Seems better on exit the place with grace. Drizzy armor rather than bursting of clouds it pours. Everything seems better on flats with love. We move only in the mist. It's slow, it's life, and we can't get enough of this. This is it. What? Lucini pouring from the sky. Let's get rich. What? The Jiki finds the sugar dimes. Can't quit. What? Now pop the cork and Stina Vega and get lit. What? This is it. What?
if I don't. Y'all already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes. Super violate that like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
How the hell can another nigga get mad at another nigga for saying F the streets? Half of y'all ain't even succeeded in the streets. Well, I ain't gonna say half, but most of these niggas ain't even succeeded in the streets. Ain't stepped on there, ain't putting that down. But saying, oh, them niggas saying that. Listen, dog, I know for a fact, me, myself, I ran up 10 million out these streets. Facts, not opinions. So if I want to say F the streets, I can say F the streets. And I have benefited from the streets on the highest level. 1 house, 2 house, 3 apartments, plaza, after I lost 18 million. So can't no nigga tell me what I can say. And I'm 100% with the streets movement. This is from Rollo Terrell Davis, and I sponsor that.
Streets. It should have always been streets. As soon as you get the opportunity to change your life and be the example, I should have already been that way. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I just don't get how all of a sudden the street, when it's convenient. Like, I feel like a lot of these rappers, a lot of these people who are role models and stuff like that, they want to say the streets now because it's on them. Now they got the spotlight on them for breaking the rules of the streets. Nah, it don't go that way. But at the same time, y'all shouldn't knock nobody for trying to push a change. It's always going to be the whole world going against you, making fun of you and coming at you. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to come at anybody. Because I'm the #1 person for pushing peace and for positivity. But when it comes from a genuine place, when people really mean it. And I do hope that all these people who saying fuck the streets really mean it, and it's not just to be convenient. That's all I'm saying. Love.
Man, fuck the streets is crazy. I am a woman, and I never say no crazy. That's crazy to me. Yeah, it's crazy. Y'all rich now, so y'all could say some shit like that. Everybody not rich, motherfuckers still outside. When you think of the streets, what is it? What does that stand for? It stands for us. That's us. In the black community, it's only 3 routes. Go to college and play a fucking sport and hope you make it. Take up to be a gym teacher, because most athletes, they don't be smart enough to be other shit. Go get a fucking job and minimum wage, check to check, struggle, not be able to buy expensive shit, take lavish trips, live life, work forever, or hustle. 3 routes. On my mama, I'm gonna take number 3 every time. Fuck all that other shit. That other shit is hard. It's not easy. I went to college. I made more money in the streets than my fucking professor, and I dropped the fuck out. When I found out how much money my professor made, I said, I made that yesterday. I have no business being in this motherfucker. I'm not coming back up in here for y'all to tell me what the fuck to do. And I'm paying out of pocket for classes. Man, please. Man, motherfucker can miss me with all that cool ass shit, man. If a nigga do some hoe shit in the streets and he get to telling, and you can't figure out if he telling or not, fuck him. Nobody's name should be up for debate if they a street nigga. We shouldn't have to figure out. Niggas gotta be held accountable for whole shit. Oh, Tammy, when you get picked up by the police for any form of questioning, the first thing you say when you get in that motherfucking room, where's my lawyer at? Can I get my call? Call your motherfucking lawyer. Let your lawyer speak for you. You should not be saying a bitch ass thing. On my mama. Every time I went to jail, man, where my lawyer at? Book, you charged for all this shit. On my mama. What? I don't nobody get to walk up out of them motherfucking rooms unless they done did something they ain't had no business doing, which is doing the police job. The police gotta do their own job. That's what they get paid for. That's what they get paid for. It's not up for no other man or no woman to send nobody to jail. I'm not for no shit like that. You don't send nobody to jail. Jail is not for people. That shit barely for animals. Have you ever been to the and seen them animals in that mother? That's the same shit for people. If a nigga get to walk out of them rooms without going against their morals and principles, that mean the police ain't got enough to come get them yet. That's all it means. It's a matter of time for everything. Come on, man. Pacer. Look a nigga up on Pacer. Look.
Hoe ass nigga. Man, don't you nigga turn into no hoe ass nigga. Stand on that shit, nigga. Stand on that shit. You nigga talked all that shit and kill people. Now you white boy thump you niggas upside the head. You nigga got probation. You nigga got probation. The white boy thump you niggas upside the head. He didn't spank you. He didn't put a noose around your neck and hang you. You nigga got probation. You nigga got probation. And now you nigga hollering, fuck the street. No, fuck you niggas. We ain't letting you niggas off 21 Savage. We are not letting you niggas off the hook that easy, cause your partner's told, you niggas broke weak, you niggas broke the code. We ain't saying fuck the streets. We saying we need stay in the streets, nigga. Don't bring y'all scary ass over here, still talking street. No, stay over there. Go to jail, die, and get killed. Yes, ma'am, come on in. Oh, yes, ma'am, we just need some towels. I'm in here talking to these street niggas talking about they want. No, nigga. Pooh Shiesty, put that gangster shit back on, nigga. No, man, I hate these niggas. I hate you hypocritic, fraud ass niggas. Just 6 months ago, you niggas was trying to shame Gunna. Now you can't shame Gunna. Gunna shame you, nigga. Now it's fuck the streets. Fuck the street movement, nigga. Fuck all you niggas holler about fuck the streets, nigga. Ain't no fuck the streets. Ain't go to the streets and tell them street niggas fuck the streets. Don't say it on the podcast. Go to that prison system. All them niggas that killed and did that, stood on them cold. Go tell them niggas fuck the streets and the feds is checking that paperwork. I been told y'all these niggas was, man, these niggas, homie, 21 Savage, Young Thug, my niggas, them niggas ain't no real street niggas. Real street niggas ain't never that stand on that fake ass rap. My old nigga Pop.
The whole key to it is that the streets always have to have rules, whether you playing in the streets or not. Because what you dudes gotta understand is like, yes, I think you should definitely find another alternative in life other than the streets. But see, the streets is also the Underground Railroad. Remember, it used to be legal to be a slave. Remember, it used to be legal to be a slave. In America, black people are 3/5 of a man. So these rules still have to apply, because living in these last days of America, being homeless can make you a fugitive. So what we gonna have? The homeless people telling on the homeless people? The rules still have to apply, because the streets, it wasn't really about the streets. It was about the slaves not telling on the slaves. It was never really about the streets. It was always about the slaves, the house niggas turning into field niggas. And the field niggas waiting for their turn to become house niggas. Understand something. Yes, if you could go to school, get a trade, do anything positive in today's days, you don't have to be in the streets. But everything goes through the streets. In life, no matter where you go, you have to narrate through the streets. There's no getting around the streets. So the rules have to apply. Whether you, somebody that goes to work every day, and I'm not saying uphold protect the drug dealers in the neighborhood. I am not saying that. I am saying we are living in the days in times of artificial intelligence. Where if you spit on the floor, you might get a fine. You better look what's going on in China. You better understand we living in the day and the time that if you buy a piece of meat at the market and you done bought an extra piece of meat, in the near future, these things might cost you your social credit score and prison time. So when you dudes keep running around because y'all can't hold y'all water, but it's too much for me to say in this video. It's way too much for me to say in this video. See me, I've been doing this for 10 years on the internet. Remember, I was the nigga on the internet talking out against all these gangs. That gang. Remember that? When nobody else, before there was a Charleston White, when nobody else was doing it, I was doing this. And everybody was mad at me. Oh, you talking about Pistol Pete? Nah. I'm just trying to make y'all understand, when Pistol Pete went to jail, he was 21 years old. He would not be the same man today. Because he was a boy then. But he's a man now. Y'all didn't meet the grown man, Pistol Pete. Y'all met the little boy. All of us were savages when we was younger. We wouldn't handle the same situations the same way. Because when you lose everything and you know the value of life, some people are throwaways. Some niggas was hood celebrities. And some dudes just made one mistake. And if they could give it back, they just made one mistake and never got a chance to come out them ugly gates. That big wall. There's too much for me to say in this video. So this is a topic that we gotta go live on. And I might have to have some special guests to go live on this topic. Because there's a lot of people that feel different ways. And one thing I do agree with, to the 10th power, you dudes can't wait till y'all get in trouble, break the rules, and then pull a Troy Ave. Heal up, wheel up, bring it back. Hold up. You dudes can't wait till you knee deep in prison time, facing the judge, jury, and the executioner, and then sit up there and decide at that moment, you ain't gonna be a stand-up nigga. It don't work like that. Because even the civilians, the citizens, the regular walking people on the sidewalk, even they should turn their back on you. Because if you ain't going to be a man, is you not a man? If you talk that talk, then walk that walk. It's okay to drop your flag. But don't wait till you got a federal indictment and you done signed some papers. And you done took the oath behind the scenes and swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, but the set don't know it until you go to trial. That's why some dudes refuse to cop out. They want to go to trial because they want to face their accusers. Get right or get left. That's the bottom line to that. You can't, listen, man, you can't have your cake and eat it too, girl. Because that's what you become, a diva. Matter of fact, I don't even understand how dudes waited so long to start challenging Young Thug. Y'all thought he was a stand-up nigga because he had all the shooters. But when the district attorney started aiming at him, he was already wearing skirts. And y'all was okay with it? He was already wearing skirts. We look, bring it, and y'all was okay with it, okay with it. It is what it is. That's my take on the situation for right now. But this is a situation, it's heating up. And yeah, the rats of Ratlanta is protecting one another. They're protecting their image. They're protecting the bag. Rat ball. Y'all hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and pay attention to your circle before they tell on you. I'm out.
Here's something to think about.
Well, it's that optical polygraph that walk this path at a steady pace and make a change every day but keep the same face. I stay at home even if I'm in a strange place. You falsify notions that you can occupy the same space. So let's face it, I rhyme so I don't have to break my back making slave wages and build with cats that keep the turf wet in the dry season. But some find it pleasing and tap, squeezing they skillet, cooking up kicks and clothes on their back. And as far as your cat, man, that peeling shit's for oranges, man, we folding it back. Because the O's for origami. When I got my people by me, best believe me. When you see me, you don't even wanna try me. I don't drink the Sunny, cause I switched to Aquafina. Even though Coca-Cola says the tinted bottle's cleaner. It's more than life, so I guess the plot thicker than getting these points across like seeing inside tickets. And brothers be like, yo, Wistic, I wanna rock with you, but forgot to hit you up cause I was sucking on that switcher. I'm drinking hard liquor with no mixer with my browser and Google all the history. Searching ways to get ya. Eye detector. Because we see it all, we recognize what we want to. A problem ain't something until the circumstances haunt you and keep you backing up until there ain't nowhere to run to. And karmic implication builds a wall you can't run through. Eye detector. That sharing my plight. revolutionary types that lay patient until the fruit is ripe and cut it off the tree of life with a knife the size of the smallest slice. But should measure everything in megabytes and zip this. The whip of the shooter wouldn't suffice in this case. I plant seeds like seeds in your brain for you to estimate. Slipper like you skate those boards without the grip tape. I'm thinking it could never be you, and that's a mistake. I'm sacrificing money for truth, and it shows every time I spit a rhyme in the booth. But understand that if you in this industry and hold a gun because you're nervous, it's probably because you got credit and don't deserve it. It's probably because you were wicked and self-serving. It's probably because we could notice you're uncertain, and out of nowhere you might find yourself hurting at the end of Act 7. It's time to close curtain. I detect. Because we seen it all, we'll recognize what we want to. A problem ain't such until the circumstance confronts you and keep you backing up until there ain't nowhere to run to. And karmic implication builds a wall you can't run through. I detect it. I detect it. I detect it. I detect it. Whenever I see, I attack. But I can see through. Wow, look at that. But I can see through you.
Hey, we've given our ears lots of exercise and and yes, our heads too. Thanks for joining me.
No money for no gun. That's why you funny, you nigga. That's why you funny, man.
international flavor of the Seattle World Fair in the sky. Here on Scientific Crossroads that symbolize the international spirit of space age tomorrow.
DJ Sonic Freedom.